It's first light at Penarth Pier, and I'm down here with the Dawnstalkers. I've been cold and wet before, but bloody hell, the anticipation of this is killing me. However, look at that.
Good friend of ours, Peter from Sol Coffee, was doing sunrise coffee, and that's actually probably what got us both to sit back down to the seafront early in the morning. So between the sunrise aspect we get here, someone being here with a hot coffee at before 7 in the morning, in the middle of the summer before 5. And once you get in once, it's addictive. And I get neither of us really saw that we were doing anything. We were doing it for ourselves, and we just shared that. And other people said, "Can we come?" And we worked on the basis it's totally inclusive. If you want to come and you're happy to get in, come and get in. How that comes across, well, it seems to work.
We do get
the dog helps. The friendly dog definitely adds something. So. That combination and consistency. So a few people have said quite recently that the fact they know that there'll always be someone here, and I think it took us until maybe August to realise that what we've done is started something that people will turn up to, whether they'll turn up and do it as a group.
Yeah, whether we're here or not. That's the thing. The other day I was quite late. I don't know. You weren't in the water yet. And we walked around that way. And there was, just like now, there was a group of people in the water already, and I was like, isn't it good to know that we literally don't have to be here, and it just happens now because it's a thing in Penarth. And it's so much bigger than us. It doesn't need us. We gave people the idea, and now, it just goes on without us, which is amazing. If anyone wants to join, literally just rock up at the seafront at the morning.
At dawn.
At dawn, which is... we say that, obviously, in the beginning it was sunrise. Sunrise is so late now that people are like, I have to go to work, I have a real life. So people are here between 6:30, 7:30, 8, anytime. People are in the water already, and it's, 6:30 now. So, just come to the seafront. We're in Penarth. We're either on this side or on the other side when the tide is out.
So either end of the Esplanade.
Yeah, just join us. Just go in the sea if you want to text in advance. We've had some people who are a bit scared to rock up on their own. Just text Dawnstalkers on Instagram, and then either Grant or me responds, and then we can meet you, and then we go in the sea with you.
Looks a bit cold, Ben.
I can't really use cold as an excuse, to be fair. It was surprisingly warm. It was crazy. When I got out, I felt almost euphoric. And the work they're doing there, getting all those people involved and creating that community is phenomenal. But I was massively inspired by the guy you got to meet, Mathhew Pritchard.
Along with his dog, Lemmy. Check it out. So we have Mathhew Pritchard in the house. Welcome, Matt.
Thank you very much. Cheers.
You did our boot camp. How'd you get on?
I'm surprised I can still talk after that. I don't know, it was good. I really enjoyed it. It was just, I haven't done anything for 3 weeks. So to come straight to that was pretty hard work. And I normally used to doing a different kind of fitness. That was full on, bam, 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 bam.
You did good.
But it was good though. I enjoyed it.
Awesome.
I'm buzzing.
Excellent. Well, most of us know Matt from your hit MTV series, Dirty Sanchez, but you left the rock and roll lifestyle to one side and flipped things. Tell us more.
Yeah, I sort of. Yeah, but Dirty Sanchez back in the day was amazing. You know, there's no complaints at all. It was you know, it was a really good time. I mean, we cheated the system. I mean, come on, we were young. We got paid to travel the world, get drunk, and have a laugh with your mates, and that was good. But like I've always said before, I don't do things by halves. Sorry, my dog's butting in, yeah.
The stick, okay? Throughout the whole of boot camp, this stick has got smaller and smaller, but it's going, go on, Lemmy.
So, yeah, it's just, I took everything I do, I take it to the extreme. So I took the party into the extreme, and at the same time, that sort of, it fucks you up really. And then you just, I just wanted to do something about it, and that's when I flipped it. I think I flipped it about 2000. It was about 2009. I decided to do the Cardiff Half Marathon again. I did it when I was 15, and I started training for it. Really enjoyed it, but at the same time, I was sort of burning the candle at both ends then, because I thought because I've trained, I had permission to go to partying, because I thought, I've done all that training, I can go and do this now. And I did that for quite a few years, and then slowly but surely, as you get older, you realise you probably can't do this. You can't burn the candle at both ends as you get older. So yeah, so slowly but surely, it wasn't an instant flip. Mm-hmm. It was a slow flip into health and fitness from the rest of it.
Your diet, in particular, I know you've got a real passion for cooking that goes way back, and kind of found that again. Tell us a bit more about that.
I've always enjoyed cooking. I mean, I left school and I always wanted to be a stuntman, so I guess I wanted to be a Hollywood stuntman. So I guess I didn't get the Hollywood, but I got the stuntman doing Dirty Sanchez. But careers teachers back then, you tell them you want to be a stuntman, they just look at you daft. What, a stuntman? You can't do that. You've got to be a nurse or a doctor or work in an office or an accountant or something like that. But I also enjoy cooking, so they said. So I decided to be a chef. So I went to college, studied catering, silver service waitering, barman, and did that for 2 years. I left, I had a really bad experience in a Persian restaurant in Cardiff, and it really put me off the industry. And I went and I cleaned windows, blah, 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 blah. But I've always enjoyed cooking. And in 2015, I turned vegan after watching Cowspiracy. And it sort of relighted my fire for cooking again. And I had to find, because I did eat a lot of meat. I ate almost every night. It was like meat and veg, or meat in a curry, or a meat in this or something. So I went on YouTube and I looked for recipe inspiration on YouTube, and I just saw all these vegan channels, and they were just fucking boring. I was like, my God, I was just like, it was so drab, and in my head, I just sort of mark it for. I thought, well, I can cook. I've gone to college. I've learned how to cook. Why can't I do a channel, and let's put a bit of fun into it and just have a laugh? And so that's what I did. I started Pritchard's Proper Vegan Cooking on YouTube.
My daughter absolutely loves your Dirty Vegan series. And she genuinely is a big fan, and she researched and made you these protein balls for after boot camp and wanted to double check whether she'd hit the recipe right. So I'll let you take those home or have them with a coffee or see what you think. But so she got back from college last night. And
they look good and they smell good anyway. So thank you very much. But it was the YouTube channel that It was the YouTube channel that got the interest of the BBC, and the BBC came knocking then to do a show, a cookery show, and that's how Dirty Vegan launched, and that's how it all happened, really.
I certainly tried to stay fit and focused during lockdown, but struggled. But you again took things to a whole nother level. Tell us a bit more.
Well, I took. It's quite funny you should say that. I drank quite heavily through lockdown, actually, but at the same time, I was trying to train to row the Atlantic from the Canary Islands to Antigua. So I had a rowing machine in my house, which was kindly donated to me by Chris Ware from the Warehouse Gym in Port Talbot. So I had that in my house. So, I mean, I don't know about you, but a lot of people did drink a lot through lockdown, and I was doing the same because, I mean, all I had to do was train and drink. Anyway, I trained because I had Mark Whittle. He gave me a training regime to go by. Wednesday was the big day for me. It was 2 hours on, 2 hours off, three sessions, 3 2-hour sessions. So Wednesday was a big day for me, and honestly, trust me, doing 2 hours on a rowing machine, on a Concept 2 rowing machine in your house, 3 times in one day, that 2 hours on, 2 hours off, 2 hours on, 2 hours off, which is what you have to do on the boat, is just a killer. Yeah. It's an absolute killer. It's just,
I don't know how you managed to strap
even
yourself
just
back
putting
in on
headphones on was just like, But anyway, lockdown, we were going to row the Atlantic from Lanzarote to Antigua with the Monkey Fist team. The skipper, Billy, he's rowed 3 oceans before, and I was going to be his partner rowing, and we were doing it with another 2 guys as well, Martin, an older guy, a 62-year-old guy, and Johnny, who's actually travelled to every single country in the world. So there was a good mixture of guys, and we were the 4 of us were doing it for a mental health charity called Human, and we were doing it for an animal sanctuary called Dean Farm Trust, which I'm the patron of. So that's what the row was all about, really, to raise money and awareness for mental health and to help the animals, and at the same time to sort of push our limits, really, and to see what, for me personally, to see if I could put myself in such a hard, tough situation to row across the Atlantic Ocean, because, I mean, once you get past one part, there's no saying I can't stop anymore, I don't want to do anymore.
Of course, you're committed, aren't you?
You're committed,
yeah.
And and then you've got to deal with that, and you've got to deal with other people that you've never met before. There were so many things. Luckily, it was hard work. It was really, really hard work. I did have 4 bad days where I think I just looked at the bigger picture, which you should never ever do. And that was just, that really fried my mind. And I went really quiet, and the boys were like, "You all right?" And I warned them beforehand. I said, if I go quiet, I'm just going through a bad time, just leave me alone. And then towards only like about a week, 5 days before the end of it, I did something to my back. That really pissed me off as well, because I did all that work and I couldn't run. I was rowing with Billy in the night, and I couldn't move. I was screaming in agony. So I had to go into the front of the boat. And we were doing 2 hours on, 2 hours off, 24/7 for 52 days it took us to get across. And it was, like I said, it was hard work, but it was great. And it was, and like I said, with lockdown, I couldn't think of anything better to be doing. I'd rather be locked on a boat rowing across the Atlantic than being locked in my house doing sod all. Do you know what I mean?
Absolutely.
And it did so much for my mental health, because I got to the other side and I felt great. And I still, to this day, from rowing that ocean, it didn't half sort my life out. I came off that boat and I found a lot of discipline in my life. I know it's weird telling you, but that's one thing that I got from that.
It's interesting,
road across
isn't
the
it?
Atlantic.
Like you said, you can set off on things and have a game plan in your mind as to what it is you think you're going to get out of anything, but actually what you do walk away from is often so much more. But,
yeah, and I know from doing a lot of endurance things in the past, I know that when those endurance things finish, there is a massive, massive come down. Mm-hmm. So you know, and I've suffered badly before because I've never understood it. And I'm like, why do I feel so bad? And it sort of puts you in a really dark place. And I know from experience that doing something so big, I knew that I'd have to keep my mind occupied and my body occupied to get through it. So as soon as I came back, I had to quarantine for 2 weeks anyway, and I just ate because I lost. But I was 15 and a half stone when I went, and I was under 13 stone when I got home. So I was
going to say, did you cook for everyone when you were?
No, we just had dried food. So I just ate, and then I just went on a mission. I said, I'm not going to stop. I just started running, walking, getting up really early, doing things, keeping my mind occupied, working, and just, you know, not resting, just keeping my mind occupied, because that helped with the come down of doing such a big challenge.
What's your next challenge?
What's my next challenge? I want to do Penarth 100 times. That's what I want.
Honestly?
Yeah. I just got in my head the other day, and I went, yeah, I'm going to do Penarth 100 times. All I need is a camper van at the bottom, and I'm just going to do it as quick as I possibly can. Just do it 100 times, yeah.
So really, what we need to do then, if you want to do it 100 times, we'll need to kind of work out who's going to be doing it each time with you.
Well, the thing is, the good thing about doing something like that is that people can come and join you, and they can do a walk. I mean, and there's a lot of people out there who are suffering with mental health because of what's happening in the world at the moment. And if they want to come and join me and walk up and walk down, they can do 1, 2, 3, 4. They can do 10 if they want.
There we go.
And you know, and it's great. You're in nature. You're in the great outdoors. You're in Penarth, you're in Wales. Brilliant. And Penarth is just the best place ever as well.
So here we go. You've got the place. You've set the challenge.
I just need a camper van.
If we find you a camper van, then we'll set the dates, yeah?
Yeah, set the dates. I need 2 weeks realistically, but I definitely want to do it much quicker than 2 weeks.
Okay, I think there's a challenge set there by Mathhew Pritchard for all of us. Thank you, Matt. Beer?
Beer.
One absolute legend. So Mathhew Pritchard, I got to know him through the selfless work he did supporting friends and family of a soldier who was tragically killed. A man that often does things without any recognition whatsoever. So a complete rock star, from one rock star to another.
We got the band Kinstrife. We've got music that is worth the download for your next gym workout.
So I managed to wedge my favourite burger joint into this show.
Skills.
Yeah, I'm quite proud of it, to be fair. So I met with Murph, who's one of the co-owners of the fabulous Beefy Boys. Cheers, Murph. Thanks for having us, mate.
Oh, thanks for asking me.
So Beefy Boys has become a bit of a landmark here in Hereford and now in Shrewsbury. How did it all start, mate?
Yeah, well, we always say it's like a drunken barbecue that's really got out of hand. That's how it started, really. It was me and Dan. He was having a barbecue at home. He gave me a call, said, I'm having a barbecue, a few mates round. I know you like eating and that. And I was like, yeah, I do. He's like, do you want to come round and give me a hand? Yeah, exactly. And so I was like, yeah, if we're going to do it, though, let's do something good. Let's do like an American-style barbecue, because like British barbecue is always a bit sad, you know, a bit of a burnt sausage, a bit of undercooked chicken and that. I was like, well, let's do proper like American style thing. So we jumped online. Back then, like diners, drive-ins and dives, man versus food, that would all just come on telly, and we've been watching lots of that. So we watched loads and we did a load of research, bought a load of cookery books, had all our friends around, and we did this big barbecue with burgers and ribs and pulled pork. And all of our mates were like, guys, this is amazing. We've never had sort of food like this before, because nowadays you can get that sort of everywhere, but you know, going back about 10 years, it was a bit of novelty in England. So we did it, and then we found out there was this barbecue competition called Grill Stock in Bristol. It was like the biggest one in the country. You had about 10,000 people going there. You had Levi Roots there, Jamie Oliver had a truck there and all that. And they had a competition there called King of the Grill, where you go and you can make brisket or ribs or whatever. And awesome. And Dan said, we should enter it. And I was like, nah, let's not do that. We've only been cooking for a month or two. Let's practice for a year or a couple of years, get good at it, and then we could enter. And then he had a bottle of wine and he just entered us into it. So literally about 3 months after us just started mucking around with this, we got entered into this thing called Grill Stock, and we won Best Burger, which was at the competition. And I think we didn't just win it, we got like 600 points, and then the guys who came second got like 400. So we like absolutely like walked it. And obviously we were from Hereford, so Hereford beef, we were always going to have a bit of an advantage. And then because of that, we got entered into the World Burger Championships in Las Vegas, and we didn't even know there was such a thing. And we thought we'd go and sort of have a free holiday and, you know, get sort of smashed in Vegas, come last in the burger competition, and then fly back to Britain. And we came second in the world. And from that point, it was like, we quit our jobs, started doing it as a pop-up, then became a restaurant, then got a food truck, and just sort of. So
this is just basically off the back, doing a grill in your garden, coming up with some good ideas with your mates, and then just Vegas.
That was it. Yeah, it was nuts. We had literally a little barbecue. It was Dan's dad one that had been left in the rain for God knows how many years, you know, covered in rust, and that's what we were cooking it on. Cost us nothing. We didn't really invest in anything. Yeah, went to Vegas, and then it all blew up. And when we came back to England, because before we went, we would go to the old pub or like whatever, and we'd on a Tuesday night ask to set up in their beer garden. We'd sell 10, 15 burgers. We'd make £5 each. Think it was brilliant, and go home. And then when we came back from Vegas, it went from doing 20 burgers to doing 200 burgers, and then a week later 300, 400, and then eventually we were doing down the left bank every Thursday. We'd have 600 to 700 people turn up, and we were like, wow, this has got legs. We need to do something with it. So it was sort of really grassroots sort of thing. All the money we'd made, we'd put back into it. So we'd buy a bigger grill because we'd have more people turning up. And I mean, the first pop-up we did after Vegas, I think it was a 2-3 hour wait for a burger, because we just had a little thing like that, cooking one.
It's still the dad's grill.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, and cooking like one burger at a time. Do you know what I mean? So we just sort of reinvested it back in, and just gradually grew and grew and grew until sort of here we are.
Mate, it's amazing. I mean, it's still sometimes a bit, obviously, booking in advance to get a seat, but it's still quite difficult to get a seat because it's just the demand and the love of this place by Hereford is amazing.
Oh yeah, but there's no way we could have done it without the support of the people of Hereford. And I think obviously we're using Hereford stuff, so we're using all of our beef comes from Hereford, all of our buns are baked in Hereford. Do you know what I mean? We try and source as much as we can sort of locally. And the support from the people of Hereford has been mad. I mean, from the point that we opened this restaurant, there were queues every day. And even now, 6 years in, you wait to sort of 12 o'clock here, and even on a Monday or a Tuesday, you look out and there'll be like 20, 30, 40 people queuing to get in straight away. It's really humbling, do you know what I mean, how supportive people have been of the whole thing.
That's amazing, mate. I think it's one of those things as well, it's like, it's a brilliant little treat. You come here, you bring your kids, I've got my kids with me, spoil them a little bit. It's mega, isn't it?
Well, I think the thing about burgers is they're kind of universal, and it's like, yeah, you know, my 4-year-old daughter will eat a burger, but my 7-year-old mother, she'll have a burger as well. And I think that's because we always thought when we opened, it'll be students, it'll be people in their 20s, that's to be the demographic. But we've been blown away. But literally, you could look at it and there'll be like, you know, a couple in their 80s sat down having a burger, or, you know, like I said, a group of school kids with their parents having a burger. And
Well, where'd you travel from, Mike? He comes from
No
Bridgend, all the way up with his mates, and they come up just
that's
to Beefy
mad.
Boys.
We get loads like that, which is all crazy. You know, we've had people from Scotland driving down, London coming up, and it's like, yeah, people will go to the ends of the earth to have a burger. It's nuts.
So you and I just spoke a minute ago with your logo, Beastie Boys. What a brilliant ring to it. Beefy Boys, Beastie Boys. I mean, that was also a reflection of your culture and what you're about as well, and you put that into your brand, haven't you?
Yeah, well, I've loved, you know, the Beastie Boys since a kid. Do you know what I mean? In school and everything, I used to have it on my Walkman and that. And yeah, when I was always big into sort of hip hop, and especially in the 90s. Not so much these days; it's no good anymore. But in that sort of 90s golden era, we were really sort of big influenced by that. And when we were trying to think of a name, we were chucking ideas around. You know, and yeah, the Beefy Boys just sort of stuck, you know, with us. And like the logo, like I said, we are waiting to be sued, but it hasn't happened yet. But yeah, so yeah, like,
and a license to grill.
Yeah, license to grill communication, and they've been a big part of my life, the Beastie Boys, actually, since sort of a kid. And it's,
I like it. I like the fact that everything that you've done here, the branding, it's got that Americanism about it, which is, you know, what we like. We often talk about it, HR4K, it's about escapism. You go somewhere and just get away. You know, come in for a meal with your family, with your friends, you come here, you get away, you have something that's different to what you're expecting at home. Yeah. And then, but there's still something very Hereford about this, isn't there? You know,
yeah, that's what we wanted to do really with it, because American food gets a real bad rep. But actually, when you go over there, the standard of food over there is incredible. And the things that they do well, like burgers, like barbecue, they are amazing at it. Do you know what I mean? I've had some absolutely phenomenal meals in America, and everything from, you know, the hospital, the service, the quality of the food and that. I mean, they've got some questionable sort of farming practices and all that sort of stuff. So we wanted to take that ethos of what they were doing, you know, with the dirty burgers, because a lot of people over here, they do, you know, what I call nice things in the bun. They're not really burgers, they're just very posh.
And everything falls out, doesn't it? You know, you take one bite and it just flies out the other side.
You know, and they got like a, you know, garlic aioli and all this sort of stuff. And it's like, well, yeah, it's really lovely, but what we wanted to do was dirty burgers, but do it in a British way using Hereford produce. And so we wanted to take the best aspects of all the American stuff and combine it with what we got in Hereford. And it wasn't until we went to America that we realised how good British beef was, especially Herefordian beef. Because we've got grass-fed, dry-aged. I mean, you go over there, it's all corn-fed, it's wet-aged. It's a completely different thing. And the cost over there, because when we went over there to the World Food Championships, we weren't allowed to take British beef because of all the hangover from BSE. So we had to source American beef. But we said, let's do it, let's get the closest thing we can to what we have in Hereford. So we had to find grass-fed, dry-aged, and to make 12 burgers, because we used ribeye over there to make the burgers. And it cost us $250. To make 12 burgers, just because trying to find that quality of beef over there was a nightmare. But in here, you can walk into any butcher in town and get some absolutely fantastic sort of meat. So it really made us realise how lucky we are in Hereford to be surrounded by the produce we have.
Yeah, it's awesome.
So some of the class places we've been in America was Franklin's. Franklin's Barbecue's the world's best barbecue joint in Austin. You got to get there at 4 a.m. Queues are already like down the road. Everyone's sort of drinking beers.
Brisket for breakfast and stuff.
The brisket over there is just incredible. And that is the one place actually where American beef is actually better than British beef. It's because it's corn-fed, so it has a higher fat content. Right. So you try and cook a British brisket like an American one, you just can't do it. It just doesn't have the same level of fat in it to sort of render out. But their brisket there, it's like eating caramel. It literally just melted. Oh mate, I've never had anything like it. And we over-ordered. We had a table like this, and there was all 8 of us round it, mountains of sort of food on it. But the brisket, you literally put it in your mouth, and it's like caramel, and it's melted like butter. You didn't even need to chew it. Do you know what I mean? It was incredible.
It might grab me that roll of tissue, make my mouth dribbling.
But so it's, and one of the reasons we don't do barbecue here is because it's so hard. Yeah. And those guys in America will, they'll be training 20, 30 years before they'll even think about opening their own barbecue place, because it is an art. Yeah, and I think the problem over here is you get these guys who think, I can open a barbecue joint in Britain, and they get some guy on minimum wage who's never done it before and doesn't really care, trying to do that. So no, there's a real art to that. Right?
Yeah, and you guys did craft your art. You absolutely did, because you actually had your mates around. It's like the classic, oh yeah, I can sing, do a bit of karaoke, and your mates all say you're great. But you actually went and tested that against the public, like you said, Bristol. Then went to the States and went, do you know what, we've actually got something here. As opposed to, like you said, just pulling out of your arse.
Well, that's it, and going over there and just seeing, you know, and I'll be honest, we've been lucky enough to be back to the World Food Championships 5 times we've done it now. So, and we've got to go to Vegas, Orlando, Alabama, New Orleans, Austin, Texas. And when we go there, we constantly watching what other places, going places to eat, going to diners, and just seeing how they do it. And little things that we do with our burgers, you know, like steaming them under a cloche, you know, that's it. We picked that up from diners over there, Joe, and that makes a huge difference. Melting the cheese, warming the bun up, you know, and like little things like just smashing the patties, how you do it, cooking it on a flat plate. There's all the things that they've been doing for, you know, almost 100 years over there now. Do you know what I mean? They've perfected it. They know what they're doing, and that's one of the things we like to try and do is make it as authentic as possible. So the burgers that we cook here are cooked in exactly the same way as if you went to a proper decent burger joint over there. They'd be doing exactly the same as what we're doing here. And I think burgers are the sort of thing which are really easy to do badly, and so many places get it wrong, but they're simple. But as long as you get those simple things right and you get everyone to sort of stick to doing those simple things, you can end up with a cracking burger. You know, and freshness, and sort of that's a big part of it as well. We never use frozen beef, anything like that. It's always got to be fresh minced that day. So yeah, as long as you sort of like stick to your guns and do something authentic and care about what you're serving, you're going to end up with a good product.
I think it's just mega, a small town like Hereford, doing something that's predominantly American and going over to America and smashing it. I mean, that's awesome, isn't it? Mate, thanks very much. So obviously, we're going to have some food now, and with my 2 critics there, we're going to delve in. So, hey, thanks.
No worries. Thanks, mate. Cheers, very nice.
So Ben's gone down to the kitchen with Murph to cook us up some burgers. I'm joined by our subject matter expert Yvonne from Make a Meal of It and Second Nature. Yvonne, welcome.
Hi.
And you're a bit partial to a dirty burger?
I love a burger, honestly. Beefy Boys is one of my favourite places to eat out. Quite fussy about where I eat out. My friends really don't like going out for dinner with me, but when we come here, I know that the ingredients are going to be good quality, locally sourced, and that there's always something on the menu that I can choose. It's easy to be adapted for anybody, really. When people are on a diet or trying to eat healthy, they might think that a burger isn't a good choice. But what I really want to get across is that there isn't a good food or a bad food. Really, it's about our relationship with that food and about having a balance. So what you eat on one day isn't going to have a massive effect on the next day as long as you balance it out. So coming out for food and having a burger is a good thing.
No, that's cool. I mean, anyone that knows me knows I'm not the greatest of cooks and certainly not a domestic goddess in the kitchen. However, just the coming together with family, friends, food's really important, don't you think?
I do, absolutely. And it's good to eat well at home and do your part, you know, trying to cook a little bit from scratch and eat unprocessed foods where possible.
I do try.
If you can't, that's okay. There's lots of good options out there from the supermarkets and from delivery places. But when you come out to eat, the people that I work with quite often feel guilt afterwards that they've maybe gone slightly off their normal plan. And what I want to do is say, don't feel guilty about the food. Think about it in the context of the balance of what you've eaten the rest of the week, but also in that moment when you're out with your family or with your friends having a meal out. It's more about enjoying that occasion where you are in that moment, not about thinking that it's off plan or worrying about what the scales might say the next day. Just enjoy it.
Absolutely. So, as our subject matter expert, what would be your top tip that we might be able to take away and try for this month?
When it comes to eating, I think it's really important to try and eat mindfully. So my top tip would be don't eat on the go. Don't buy food and eat it in the car or eat it on the way back from the shop. Actually stop, think about it and eat it. There has been an experiment actually that I was really interested in that showed that if you consider a food a meal rather than a snack, you're less likely to eat again between meals. So they had a pasta pot from a supermarket that you just have a little plastic spoon with, and they asked a group of people to eat that pasta pot from the pot standing up, you know, with the little spoon, and the other group, they actually made them tip that pasta pot out onto a plate and sit down with a knife and fork and eat it. And then when they were then given a buffet, an all-you-can-eat buffet afterwards, they found that the people who had eaten it, sat down and mindfully taken it as a meal, ate a lot less in the buffet. So eating mindfully can make a difference. So top tip, don't eat on the go.
Okay, I'll try. I'll do my best. I will do my best. Talking of food, you hungry?
Oh yes.
Let's go and catch up with the guys. So a big thank you to Beefy Boys.
Yeah, amazing food, great hospitality. Kids loved it.
Cool.
Wicked.
You got the bill?
Yeah, I got the bill. So something we picked up on here at HR4K is, you know, whenever we've run all our events, is that regardless of your hobby or your pastime, these are just excuses often to bring people together. You know, the subject or the object is almost irrelevant. These are just a chance for two people or more just to start socialising, interacting, meeting new people. Amazing.
Absolutely. We experienced this ourselves when we recently attended an event with thousands of like-minded people. So we're here at Krazyhorse. It's one of their Thursday events. First Thursday of every month?
First Thursday of every month.
Cool.
It's epic. There's up to about 3,000 people from all different backgrounds come here. We've got cars, we've got bikes, we've got food.
We've got the band.
We've got band. Check out the VT and we'll show you around.
Cool.
It's just getting out, meeting your mates, talking a load of bollocks for a couple of hours, having a cracking night out. And that's it, it all helps. There's normally about 7 or 8 of us turn up, meet up with a few other boys, have a laugh. That's what it's all about.
We moved here 12 years ago, in 2012, just before Christmas. And so we've gone from a tiny little shop to this big building. Forget about the other one across the road. This was the first one.
And what's so unique about Krazyhorse and what you guys do?
I think that we're authentic. So everybody that worked at the little shop and came up here rides, and we build, and we know our shit, and that makes us authentic. You know, it is different to coming into a franchise where you're talking to a salesman that wants to sell you something. They might sell you a bag of crisps. It is different here, and I like that. You know, I like that we're real, and if I think it's not the right thing for you, we'll tell you. And one of the things that we really liked at the little shop, when we were building, if you wanted something and we didn't want to do it, we'd tell you. You know, and that's cool. That's cool, that's why you come.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, you don't want to, we want to sell you something you want.
And
you know,
a loyal
most
customer
people don't
base
do that.
who respect you and what you guys are all about.
I'd like to think so. They probably think we're a bunch of twats. But to be honest, I quite like the idea of that.
Yeah. And why is nights like this really important for Krazyhorse?
Well, it certainly puts on the map. You know, because we came from the custom world, you would never have got sports bike riders coming here or touring bike riders coming here. This and the cafe put us on the map.
Welcome to Colchester Fitness Centre, the home of CrossFit, Direwolf and also HR4K Colchester. I'm here with the head coach of CrossFit Direwolf, Sam, and also our manager, Libby, here at Colchester HR4K. Let's show you around.
So Colchester Fitness Centre is the home of CrossFit Direwolf. It is a community-based fitness centre which at the heart of it has fitness classes for adults and kids. We have an osteo on site as well as a physio and a barbershop. And our front of house is HR4K, which is run by Libby. Within that coffee shop we offer a host of things from drinks, we offer merch, we offer goods provided by other veteran-owned and other based organisations.
We also work with Krazyhorse, who supply the motorbikes that we have in the shop. We work with the members of the gym. We work with the guys that are familiar with Krazyhorse as a brand, and also Stanway and Colchester as the wider community. We bring people together like a social hub. We introduce people that wouldn't otherwise cross paths, and like to act as a sort of gateway into fitness for people in the community.
So Sam, Libby and their team are going to take part in the HR4K 3-minute challenge. Let's see how they get on. Awesome job, team. How did you find it?
It was tough. The sit-ups into burpees with the hinge was tough, and press-ups after the burpees also very tough.
Okay, well done. 86 reps. 86 reps to beat. Great effort from the boys and girls from CrossFit Direwolf. They're up there with Blueprint with a total of 86 reps.
Wow, neck and neck. Fair play. Thanks very much for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. And if you liked it, share it and give us some feedback.
See you next episode.
Cheers.
I'm gonna kill you tonight.